Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. This is Ozark Living. Today's video, straight into it. We're doing the full map tour, the end of the lake, the tail of the dragon, and everything down there. Let's check it out. Hey guys, my name is Scott, and if this is your first time visiting the channel, welcome. And while you're here, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button along with that notification bell, because every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm coming out with a new video telling you everything you need to know about moving to or living in Lake of the Ozarks. We're also a group of licensed lenders and agents, so as much as I love making these videos, I would love more to help you with your lending or real estate needs. So the number popping up below, I am the guy who answers the phone calls, the text messages, and the emails. If there's a question, a scenario, or something I can do to help, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. In the meantime, we wanted to continue and really just finish up our full map tour of videos. And we've had people reaching out, asking questions about certain spots on the lake and price points of homes and amenities. So we put together kind of these full map tours. You can go back and watch previous videos. This video is going to be very specifically for the back part of the lake. Further down the waterways, we'll show you and pull it up on a map. So let's jump in here. I'm going to shrink myself into the bottom here, and we're going to basically pull up a map of the United States. We'll figure out where are we right now. So we know that the Ozarks is in Missouri, so right here in the middle of the country. Depending on where you're coming in from, you're either driving in or you're flying. As we scroll in, what you'll find is Kansas City on one side, St. Louis on the other. If you're flying into one of these two airports, renting a car and driving in, you're going to come to the middle and down, and that's where you're going to find the lake. So about a 2.5-hour drive once you get into the car. So we're going to scroll in. We can see the lake from an aerial view. I've always referred to this as an ancient Chinese dragon. Depending on where you're at on the lake, depends on the dragon, depends on what amenities and things that are around you. So previous videos on these tours, we've started at the top of the lake. We've slowly worked our way down into the belly of the dragon. We've done things down here in Camdenton off of the lakes. We've come up into Sunrise Beach. And now we really just want to talk a little bit about this back half of the lake. And one of the main things to think about and look at is from an aerial Google Earth point of view, you can tell there's a lot of roadways and a lot of activity happening towards the northern and east side of the lake. And so again, that's where the majority of the retail stores are, hospitals there, restaurants, a lot of amenities, a lot of activity, a lot of touristy area is in this top section of the lake. It's also very busy, right? Depending on the time of day and the year, that's where the heart of the Ozarks is. And so if you're have a young family, there's nothing wrong with being up in this area. Majority of you know that we have 2 small kiddos, so we like to be a little bit further away. But as you venture away and you start to move down the lake, you'll see that those roadways start to disappear. So towards the back half of this lake, it is very remote, very rural. And obviously, I think this area in general is that way, but it just becomes more relevant as you start to progress down the lake. So when you scroll in, last video we did was right around Sunrise Beach, Hurricane Deck. This is one of the main bridges that will cross the waterway. So if you're thinking about being further down the lake because you want a little bit more peace and quiet, you don't want to be in the heart of things, just understand that in order to get to some of these locations is going to be a little bit of a drive. So you're going to figure out where you are. You'll make your way probably into Camdenton or up into Osage, or maybe on this side into Sunrise, again, depending on what you want. Basic amenities like grocery stores, things of that. You can find that in Sunrise. You can find it in Camdenton. So just something to think about. Hey, we don't want to be in a high touristy trafficked area. We want to be further away. Okay, cool. The further away you go, the less amenities there's going to be. So be comfy with your family and understand that there's not going to be a ton of stuff as you get to this back half of this lake. And so we referred to it before. We live down in this area, and so we like to hang out, go to the restaurants that are here. I'll talk a little bit about them, but we like to obviously do some surfing and tubing and, skiing and stuff behind the boat. And so we try to have a little bit of a calmer water. And all these little fingers off of here are things where you can do that in. So you have the main big body of water, but these little fingers here, you could also kind of surf and do things inside too. So if we scroll in, we're right here at the tip of this cove. So our house is one of these over here on the very end. So we have this little cove that's protected from the big water, but we also kind of have some big water views. And so people that we're talking to, they maybe want both, right? We want to be a little bit protected on a cove for kids swimming and just floating in tubes and doing fun things off the dock. And obviously, but they want views of the big water. So that could be something to set your search up on, is trying to find something that's protected. These are all going to be slow channels in here, but this is a main body where you could do skiing and surfing. It doesn't look big, but this is obviously very big for boats and stuff as well. So, you know, when you're thinking about this back half, the further you go, the less trafficked it gets, the less roadways there are, the further away you are from everything. And then obviously it goes all the way back into Warsaw, which is where the other side of the dam is. So it's dammed down here and it's dammed up here. And that's how they can control the water levels and things throughout the year. So again, everything is perspective of what you need and what your family needs, or the purpose of moving down here. Single family homes, condos, communities, we're doing rentals, investments, all of that stuff. But fun area. We'll talk about some of the restaurants that are down here. But again, we're kind of right in this little cove. And again, we're trying to get out on the lake and do a few things along the way. So, you know, what we'll see here now when we go over into our map of our real estate stuff, as we scroll in, we've talked about stuff all the way from the top part of the lake and the villages, Osage. We know when you're up in this area, the price point, and we'll just go look at single family homes right now. But the price point of home is going to be higher because this is the most popular place, right? This is where the majority of people actually do want to be. So you're in the high hundreds, maybe, you know, obviously seven figures. And you can tell as you start to move away from that area, just like anything, you move away from the heart of the city and you get into the suburbs, you're probably going to find a little bit of a suppressed price point. And that's the same as it is in the Ozarks. And so, you know, as we're looking at these areas, we kind of cut it off right here around Sunrise Beach, but you're going to go from high hundreds and seven figures up in the Osage and villages to maybe the high hundreds to low hundreds. And there's going to be a lot of great options of everything in between, depending on what you want. So we're just looking at lakefront properties, but even if you take away the lakefront aspect of it, there's going to be other options, you know, off the lake as well. So let's go and add this back in. And you can tell if you wanted something a little bit on the cove, here's a single family home, $385,000. It's got the deck, everything off the back of it. Let's go check it out. All right, so there's your dock, so your boat and your swimming platforms. Property is empty, it looks pretty well maintained, pretty clean, hardwood floors, newish kitchen, and everything that you would need. All right, this is a good, I don't know, family option. This could be a vacation home for the family. This could be a lot of great things. This is actually on the same road that we live on. So actually, I know this property. Let me back this out. Yeah. So we're on this cove. So yeah, actually, I know that property. Here's some stuff on the other side of the lake. Again, great option. Deck space. You got the dock out there. You're going to be with this one too. You're on a little bit of an inlet cove. And so you can still have access to the big water here, but now you're on the inland, which is, you know, again, just going to be easier for swimming. Not a lot of waves, or not as many waves, so it's easier to get your boat in and out. You can tell that there's a lot of options at a little bit of a suppressed price point. That's a new build. Like, great looking home, right? Huge deck off the back. You got the garage down here to put your boards in, little fire pit to hang out with the family at night. You got your 2-car garage, fairly flat lot. We know that you know, this is a hilly area, and so anytime you can have opportunity to get into a little bit of a flat lot, that's going to be a win-win. But tons of space, very well maintained and upkept. It's got a finished basement. You know, this could be a great just single family home for the family. This could be a great vacation home. You know, you can see people putting their stamp on these things and making it very cozy. It's a beautiful house. You got your dock out back, so boat, jet skis, swim platforms. This is a shed to carry all your stuff or store all your stuff. Lounge area out back. This is a great option home. Okay. So we'll scroll back out, and then you can tell as you go further down the lake, the price point can get even more suppressed and a little bit lower. So, you know, one of the big reasons why people like this area is because of the affordability. You can have, you know, acreage, you can have lakefront property, you can have it at a suppressed price point compared to, you know, the average of the country. And A lot of these metropolitan cities are becoming so expensive. They're super congested. You could reach out and touch your neighbor's house. And obviously, this is going to be the complete opposite of that. Dock out back with all your toys and all your stuff, clean property, probably using this as a vacation home. When you see multiple beds in there, that's probably the case. But this will also be very rentable. This is a great Airbnb type property and VRBO. We'll come further down. What's this 310? Great property. Looks like a new deck off the back. Okay, clean on the inside. Just practically move-in ready. Anybody that's looking for that vacation or lake life and they want it this summer, these are great options. So again, we're connecting the dots, and we just wanted to show kind of where we are on the lake and then what are some of the price points of some of these homes. This whole area down here is Roach and Climax Springs and Proctor, Lakeview Heights, again, all the way back down to Warsaw. But, this goes to show you just from a panned out point of view that you can find lakefront properties, less than 500,000. And, depending on where you're at right now in the country and you're high paced or high stressed or, constantly on the go and you're in a city that's crammed and congested, maybe it's time to switch things up. And I promise you get into some of these properties, your peace of mind is going to completely shift and change. So another cool property that could be more of that family cottage and cabin type feel. Might need some new carpet and a little bit of lipstick, a little bit of work on that one. So anyway, I'll show you some of the properties down in this area with amenities. We know, again, just same with congestion and everything else, the top of the lake is going to have more of the amenities. And the further away you get, the less you're going to have. But if you think about this area, you're going to have Bare Bottoms, which is a fun place. If you're taking kiddos, they have, a water slide that goes into the restaurant. This is a lakefront restaurant that, has a water slide and some things, which is really, really fun. You have a little bit further down here, Lazy Days, which I think is now Boondocks, but, Lazy Days, again, it's a fun option to either drive into or, there's docks and stuff out back where you can obviously pull your boat in and do some things as well. So Lazy Days is kind of down in this area. You got Big D's halfway in. You're going to realize when you're coming down, there's going to be some inappropriate names. So, depending on your family and what the age group of your kids, you might want to bring them, you might not want to bring them, but Big D's is a fun spot. Again, hanging out, having a lot of good times. Again, these are kind of lakefront restaurants. There are some restaurants in this area that are not on the water. And so if it's not on the water, then clearly you're just driving to them. Tavern, Trails Inn. Let's go down the lake a little bit further. There's marinas all the way throughout this lake. And so if you need to stop and fuel up and get some snacks or do some things, you'll find that. But you can tell there's a lot of markers down here at the front side and there's not as many on the back side. So just food for thought. What is it that you're looking for and how close do you have to be to some of those amenities? When we're down here, there's only a few choices, but we do a lot of obviously barbecuing out back, and we'll hit the restaurants from time to time, but we'll go up to the grocery stores and load up with all the foods that we need. And a lot of times we're just spending time there at the house. But if this is more of a permanent location and you're moving your entire family down here and you're relocating, the kiddos are going to school, you're working, those would be something to think about and consider is how far away do you want to be from those amenities. If you have the ability to work remotely, cool. Also, hey, what's the bus route for the kids? Where do I have to take them to get on that bus route? And then kind of, again, are they going to Camdenton? Are we looking at Osage? But as you explore further down the waterway, again, less traffic, less amenities. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's not, right? It's for whatever works best for you and your family. But all of those areas are going to be great for, permanently relocating, and they're still going to be great rentability for, short-term rentals, VRBOs, or even just investment properties. So some things to consider. Again, this is the kind of the last video for the map tours for now. And what we're trying to do, again, is just connect the dots. People are asking about parts of the lake. maybe what are the price points of some of the homes, and then ultimately what are some of the amenities around there. And we're just trying to help connect those together to make it a little bit easier for folks as they're trying to think about or consider relocating to the area or purchasing some type of investment. So I say it all the time, right? We are licensed lenders and agents. I love making these videos, but I love more to have the conversations with you and help you with your lending or real estate needs. So one more time, the number popping up below. I am the guy who answers the phone calls, the text messages, and the emails. If there's a question, a scenario, or something I can do to help connect these dots for you, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. And until the next video, we'll see you then.